Hey guys, it's me, obviously. Um, I came out to my car in the middle of work because I wanted to talk about something kind of important. Um, well, it's important to me, and it may not be important to anyone else, but it's at least important to me, and I just wanted to get these thoughts out while they're rattling around in my skull. I just got finished watching Nicole Arbour's video about depression. And I've seen a lot of people posting about it, and most of them are very angry. Most of them are very concerned as to why she felt like she knew the answer to depression. Now, if you haven't watched or listened to Nicole Arbour's story, it's a great one. I mean, she was in chronic pain, and she was she had depression. She couldn't leave her house. She was in debt. There was a whole lot of things going on in her life that was very scary and very sad. And so she went through depression, and then she managed to get out of it. And she's a worldwide international YouTube star, and she's very beautiful. She's very talented, all of those things. I don't personally have a problem with Nicole Arbour. Her editing for her videos drives me bananas, but everyone does their own thing, and obviously she makes a difference because she's got millions and millions of viewers and everybody talking about her, and she, like I said, she's a big star. But there were just some points that she made that I wanted to kind of touch on. As somebody who suffers from anxiety and manic depression, I kind of felt like she was generalizing it in a way that everybody feels depression the same way. Everybody fits into this pie chart of depression, and everybody handles it the same way. And I think that generalizing a mental health issue like depression is very dangerous because everybody experiences it a different way. I have manic depression, which means I am experiencing symptoms of depression, but I make myself go do stuff. I get myself up, I go to work, I exhaust myself until I'm to a breaking point, which then brings in the anxiety. It's not fun, and it's not something that everybody deals with. There are people who have chronic depression, there are people who are suicidal, there are people who have mild depression. Whatever it is, it's not the same for everyone. And generalizing it in that way is incredibly irresponsible, especially for somebody who went through depression like she did. And I guess I understand what she's trying to say by fitting everybody in her little pie chart, but it doesn't work that way for everyone. And so watching the video, it didn't anger me. I just was irritated by the fact that she felt like she had the right to sit there and tell all of her viewers, hey, you're just like everyone else. And that might not be what she was saying at all, but that's what I took from it. The other thing that I was kind of irritated about was the fact that she basically said, and again, I might be misinterpreting this. It's very possible. The fact that she basically said that medication isn't a cure-all, so you should stop taking it and go take a jazzercise class instead. Okay, I understand as a rational human being that medication is not a cure-all. It's not going to just make you feel 100% better the moment that you take it. It has to build up in your system, and sometimes it takes tweaking. And she made this point about how it made her feel like a robot, and she had these cute little clips about the Tin Man, which was irritating. And so again, it takes some tweaking. Not every medication that you take is going to make you feel like a robot. It's not going to make you feel like a zombie. And if it does, you can always talk to your doctor about getting it tweaked, about say, hey, this makes me sleepy, this makes me more sad, I feel more depressed, and then they can adjust and change things the way that they need to go to help you get you where you need to be. Again, yes, it's not a cure-all. It's not something that's just going to make all your hopes and dreams come true. And that's why if you're taking medication, you should also see a therapist, which is something that she also missed. She didn't say anything about talking to someone about it. And it doesn't have to be a professional. It doesn't have to be somebody that you pay $150 an hour for. It can be your preacher. It can be your mom. It can be your best friend. Just talk to somebody who can help you work through this stuff while you're taking the medication. She was like, here are 4 steps to get yourself out of depression. And while she had some interesting thoughts and some things that can be very helpful, exercise, doing something you love, making grateful lists, all of those things can be very helpful on top of seeing somebody and taking medication, especially if you have chronic depression, because it's not enough. I'm so sick and tired of these people who are like, just go outside, paint a picture, go hang out with your friends. When you are depressed, none of that stuff matters. It doesn't matter if you have friends that love you. It doesn't matter if you can go to a gym or if you can go outside and roll around in the grass. None of it matters because it's not important. That's the whole thing with depression. Yes, it's in your head and it's chemical, but it's a major part of your decision making. Because if you don't even have the will to get out of bed, how are you going to have the will to put on some tennis shoes and go for a run? It's not that simple. And I'm so sick and tired of everyone oversimplifying depression and generalizing it as in, oh, just do this thing and you'll be happy. No, that's not how it works. You can do all of those things and still be depressed. It's a lifelong battle. And the whole thing about her saying, well, it's scientifically proven that it's not genetic is BS. It is a genetic thing. My entire family suffers from depression. It's not something that you just wake up and one day you have it. It's something that comes from your family. And yes, sometimes it is kind of an anomaly, but for the most part, it can be genetic. And I'm getting all kind of worked up here, and I can feel myself getting anxious about this because I feel like she's sending this mixed bag of a message, and I feel like it's really incredibly dangerous, especially because so many people watch her channel and so many people listen to what she says, and it's not as easy as 4 steps. It's a lifelong process, and it takes time. And so for anybody watching this, I would just highly recommend either don't watch her video or listen to it with a grain of salt, because she's just one person. And yes, maybe the things that she did, those 4 steps, helped her to get out of her depression, but they aren't the answer. They aren't the only answer. And if watching her video made you feel bad because you're not doing those things, or because you've tried those things and they haven't worked, don't feel bad. Don't look at her answers as the only way to deal with it. And again, I might be completely misinterpreting everything that she said. She might, if I sat down and had a conversation with Nicole, she might say, oh no, I wasn't saying you shouldn't go see a therapist or you shouldn't take medication. But that's the feeling that I was getting from it. And it disturbed me a little bit. And yes, we do have a country full of very depressed people, and that's sad. And she just was, with all of her little jump cuts and giggles and showing off her cleavage, which I say that and I'm, showing off mine. She just made it seem like it was just this happy-go-lucky thing, and oh, you're going to be okay. And I can't abide by that, really. I can't. And yes, you are going to be okay. And if you find the path that works for you to help with your depression, that's great. And maybe the things that Nicole said are helpful to you, and you're like, oh, I haven't tried this thing before. Maybe I should try that, and that'll help. And that's great too. But again, take it with a grain of salt, because she's not the complete answer. Anyway, that's really what I wanted to say about that. And I'm like shaking and nervous for whatever reason. It might also be because it's like really cold outside. I'm sitting in my car in the cold. But yeah, I wanted to get that out of my system and just, I don't know, just pour out my thoughts about that, because I felt like what she was saying was not 100% accurate. So anyway, thank you for watching. Bye.